Morning all, welcome to another episode of my summer reading list, which is my dedicated project about working my way through my ridiculously large TBRP, my to be read pile. I'll probably get the pronunciation right or wrong, but Japanese, there's an occasional meme, isn't there? The Japanese call this, I believe, the Sundako. Though Umberto Eco might say it's okay to have lots of books you've never read because it's like having lots of great bottles of wine in your wine cellar, which I kind of like. Right? It's a very kind of different morning atmospherically here out in rural Andalusia. Well, it's very rainy. The weather, I think I've said this before, the weather has definitely turned. Very, very, very blowy last night. Quite spooky gothic level of wind. It's rainy today, this morning. It's the sky's pretty overcast. We're supposed to be having someone come around to do some work here. I don't know if they're going to bother in this kind of weather. I wouldn't be surprised. Can't blame them. Effie's here, being Effie, being very snuggly at the moment, which I put down to body heat, but it's very sweet anyway. And I guess if there's a good thing, the overpowering smell of dope from the farm next door, very naughty. A guy, wow, is not so detectable today. So anyway, this is my second one this week, and it's an interesting book, a pretty good book, I think, actually, and it's Great Military Blunders by this guy Geoffrey Regan. I'm going to call him Regan probably, right? And this is not the greatest edition of a book. It feels a bit cheap. I know I talk sometimes, don't I, about the physicality of books and books as art objects. This is less of an art object. I mean, it's fine, but they've done some things like some of the kerning, the spacing of the words is poor on some pages, and one sentence becomes almost one word kind of thing. That's not a big deal, right? But it's fine. There's no horrible errors or anything. There's perfectly adequate, illustrations and everything. Yeah, this has been hanging around for a while, and it might even be, and I can't quite remember the sequence of events because I know my outlaws, as were still lovely people and that still want to have a relationship with them, did get me one of his other books, and I don't know if I bought this one myself and they bought me Naval Blunders, or it was the other way around. I think I've got Naval Blunders here in the pile, but I haven't. This is the first one of his I read. Been hanging around for a while. It's very good. It's pretty damn good, to be honest with you. But I've got some comments. This guy seems to have made his a career out of this, the military catastrophe, the military blunder. And it's kind of a absolute tour d'horizon of every kind of battle screw up, stupid general's decision throughout history. It's kind of like a non-linear history book, if you get me, right? So we jump and jump and jump and jump. He has it organized by themes, right, which is fine, sensible, and that makes a lot of sense. But you kind of get the sense, really, for me, of like the whole of human history is just a farrago of ludicrously bad generalship, because he's really focusing on the. He occasionally talks about the stupidities and the venalities of often poorly trained, poorly fed. Food and drink and medicine and housing of soldiers is a theme throughout the book, which is something that is really, really interesting and probably needs to be talked about a lot more. We talk about logistics, but what does it actually mean for a soldier in the field? The chapter on, it's the section on Crimea is just horrendous, and it looks like a lot of that was down to ludicrous stupidity. The wind's picking up a little bit here. Ludicrous stupidity on the part of the kind of quartermaster, the supply troops, and food sitting in warehouses not being given out, and lack of responsibility and coordination. And that's, again, that kind of comes through the book. A bit on VD. I mean, that's sort of new, but I mean, the battle casualties versus VD casualties consistently throughout history, it's always been more down to VD. And I think in the even minor things like the Allied campaign, British campaign through Italy, VD casualties were higher than and combat casualties, etc., etc. That's interesting. The materiality of people moving through the world and war and what that actually means. You could say you could criticise the book because there are no women in it. There is one rather striking woman who is the Irish girlfriend mistress. I suppose when you say mistress, I mean, does that mean? I'm not sure that's got a meaning these days. Mistress is a word you see an awful lot in older texts. I mean, by which I've always understood to be a girlfriend who wasn't your wife, but really maybe it just means your partner, your girlfriend, your lover, your other half, your whatever. Or mistress has a connotation of it being a little bit not so good. I don't know. Anyway, the kind of crazy Irish woman looking after it was the girlfriend, mistress of the being a bit distracted by the weather, of the absolutely ludicrous. I think he was a Paraguayan dictator who basically managed to destroy his country by these insane wars with his neighbours and whatever. Right, that's quite interesting. The cumulative effect is that. Maybe I'll just move this box. Hang on. Sorry. The cumulative effect is one of kind of a you go from astonishment to amusement to incredulity. Really, it is a bit monomanic. It's bang 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 bang, stupid, awful, mistake. He occasionally talks about if the guy had done this instead of that, or if they cooperated better. An awful lot of the book is about terrible relationships between officers, which led to absolutely ludicrous events, brightening up a bit actually on the battlefield, about how many men's lives carelessly wasted. British campaign in the Boer War, often terrible, wasted lives, wasted opportunities. Hinges of history, etc., etc. I do think it's a while ago since he was popular, but I do think the John Keegan military history books are a little bit better. The Face of Command, I remember, as being a very good one, and that might not be the same one as where he gives you what was it actually like to be on the field at Agincourt, Waterloo, the first day of the Battle of the Somme, right? Really interesting stuff. This is less well written, but I think it's good, and I think there's some funny quotes and there's some funny anecdotes, and all in all, if you're into your military history, I think this is well worth dipping into. Looks like the guy made a career out of it, and he's written others. If I've got the naval one, I'll be interested in the kind of contrast with that. But all in all, I would say I'm going to give this a 3, maybe a 3.5, kind of thing. And I think I would recycle it. I don't think I'd keep it because I think other people. I don't think it's now. You see, I'm torn now because there are things that you sort of dip into that would be quite interesting. And if you wanted to look up about a particular battle, if you're discussing it or interested in finding out more about it, it's probably in here, and he might have a perspective. I would say also. So sorry to complete that thought. I'll probably keep. I'll think I'll keep this book, but it's a 3.5. It's on a 5 out of 5. I wonder if every one of these battles there's going to be different perspectives, and there's going to be different military and historical analyses of them, and perhaps what he sees as a ludicrously terrible defeat might not necessarily be another narrative, but with a focus on the stupidity basically of generals, of the officer class. This is a really good book. Okay, I will stop there. I don't want to do it kind of as long as my last one. It was good, entertaining stuff. Now, my next book, which I have started, don't want to give too much away, is a book of poetry, which is very interesting. It's kind of starting to feel like the guy's autobiography, and that's that's a perfectly fine thing. It's much less abstract than a lot of the poetry that we were all quite rightly expected to read at A level and university level, kind of thing. It's much more approachable than that, but I still think there's sort of deep, interesting things going on. So I'll stop there. I'll go inside and have some coffee and warm up. I'm hoping for the weather to turn, and I will be carrying on with my poetry book and looking forward to talking about that in a couple of days' time, maybe. All right then. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. And as I always say, get cracking with that TBRP. Like and subscribe if you want to. If you want to use my affiliate link to buy any of the books that you find inspiring after my review, that'd be great. And, crack on with your day. All right. Cheers. Bye. Bye.